This movie tells a story about a stripper named Zola who embarks on a wild road trip with a prostitute named Stephanie to Florida. This movie was inspired not by a book or a play, but by a Twitter thread, a narrative composed in 148 tweets by a Detroit-based Hooter waitress and exotic dancer named Azia Zola King. It's about her wild and crazy yarn about 48 hours she spent on the road with a new friend named Jessica. This movie is largely faithful to that initial tweet storm. Unfortunately, capable filmmaking and a pair of good performances cannot transform this wild and crazy escapade into the stuff of art. It's superficial and relatively thin on substance. When the film has flashes of originality and vision, it's ultimately unsatisfying, more style than substance. Granted, the plot of Zola sounds interesting, especially considering a lot of this story is based on actual events. However, it doesn't do this crazy story justice. It's fun to see a movie skewer the vapid soullessness of social media and the unregulated economy of male desire, but Zola ultimately rings hollow. We don't know much about these characters in the end. Everything we endure together, this acquaintance extends no deeper than the glitter of their faces. At the outside, this movie describes her story as kind of long but full of suspense, but it's neither. The film runs barely 82 minutes before credits, and much of the really dramatic stuff has been invented to make the adventure seem more interesting. Unfortunately, no effort to touch the social issue, despite the potential seriousness of a film that is ostensibly about sex trafficking. The film relies far too heavily on being loud and over the top instead of presenting the audience with this story and letting the events speak for themselves. Instead, we get a bunch of loud and obnoxious characters who aren't all that interesting. Everyone just felt like an exaggerated stereotype. The actors are doing their best to fit the tone of the film being made, but there isn't anything all that special about playing a stereotype we've seen countless times before. We couldn't connect with any of these characters and didn't understand how someone would go on a road trip with a stranger, because it made no damn sense. The movie also maintains a lighter, more deadpan tone, but the decision also keeps the film stakes one note. It's only in one surprisingly climactic scene that any of the characters appears in actual danger or discomfort. There are moments when we genuinely fear whether the characters will make it out alive, but the movie doesn't seem to value their safety as much as we do. The movie keeping the strong figure of Zola for the most part above the fray of Stephanie's sordid world, but by doing so, the main character also remains largely a bystander, which does little to keep us invested in her experience. This movie is aimless in terms of its storytelling, but couldn't stop trying to shock the audience. There should be more to a movie than just shock value. The film also ends with minimal resolution or closure. What the film could have been if it had considered who Zola really was or what she wanted to be.